And what's up with the yarmulkes? Is there a specific size requirement? Do I have to wear one under my hat or cap? I've seen some people don't wear them in the workplace. Is that an acceptable practice? Okay, so let's focus primarily, we're at time, but let's focus primarily on requirements for head coverings. This is pretty quick. We'll call it a dispute between Rav Moshe Feinstein and Reb Ovadia Yosef. They're not really arguing, they're just giving different parameters as to what the minimum measure of a yarmulke is. So the way Rav Moshe puts it is the minimum size of a yarmulke is anything that you would call a head covering. So you see a yarmulke the size of a bottle cap. Right? It's like this big. It's like, that's a yarmulke, right? That's like a patch. Right? So Moshe says, that has to be a head covering. If somebody will look at it and be like, you know what? That's a head covering. That's a yarmulke. That's what Moshe says. If you look at it like a little thing that's stuck on top of your head, so it's not called the head covering. That's Rav Moshe's parameters. Rav Ovadia Yosef puts it, and he says that a yarmulke should be viewable on all sides of the head, which means if somebody's standing to my right, they should be able to see it. They stand to my left, front, back. If my yarmulke is noticeable, now sometimes people will wear the yarmulkes like this, on the side. That's not an issue. That's not what he's talking about. Like, oh, make sure to keep it in the dead center. You got to keep it at the half court line. That's not what he's referring to. But he's saying that there are different people have different head shapes, and they tend to wear it in different in different spots. But if you were to keep it in a regular spot on your head, and it would be noticeable, that's the proper size to keep. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's basic about the size. And there's a nice Jewish joke about this. I remember this because somebody sent me a clip of. I was like shocked by this, of a bris where I guess the parents, this like just happened recently, I think, if it's a real video. Nowadays you never know if it's a true video, if it's AI or anything. But somebody sent me like a 10-second clip of a video where it looked like the Zayda was calling out the name, and the father hands the grandfather a hat because they couldn't decide what name to give their kid apparently. So he's like, let the grandfather pick a name out of the hat. So they had like two names that they liked, but they couldn't. It was like too stressful for them to decide on which one. So they gave the grandmother picked out a name, and that's when the parents found out what the kid's name's going to be too. But that reminded me of so the joke is that these parents couldn't decide what to name their kids. They decided to pick the name out of the hat. So the kid's name is 7 1/8. That's it. All right. 7 1/8. That's yeah. All right. We'll hold it here. Go ahead.
Yeah. What age should you start to encourage? Okay, I work with 3-year-olds. They're not keeping them on.
Right.
But at what age should you try to encourage them trying to keep up?
3. Encourage. Don't force. Yeah, my kids take yarmulkes off all the time. When I see it, I say, a yid should wear a yarmulke.
And I know that there's some issues like with these with very high visible attorneys who go into courtrooms.
Yeah.
And they're concerned. I mean, they want to wear a yarmulke of sort. They want to have something on their head. They would feel terrible if they didn't. But at the same time, they don't want to affect the jury and how they're being perceived and how the court case could go and things.
Right.
Like that.
So to quote Mayor Klein, that used to be a problem, and nowadays he finds it's the opposite. And he appreciates society having gone mad. He said, me coming in with a yarmulke is a lot less crazy than the other attorney with his purple and green hair. So he said, the way that it's gone, it's not even, people don't flinch anymore at it. If anything, they just know you're honest. And he said, yeah, it used to be, even like 10, 15 years ago, it used to be like people would get uncomfortable doing that. He's like, nowadays people dress so strange and do whatever they want. People just do their thing, Okay.
The Rav never answered the not wearing a yarmulke in the workplace.
No, we'll talk about that.
We officially go to 11:15. Actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 10:30 to 11:15.
Okay. Next time.
Okay. Okay.
Next
Rob
time.
has some other things.